What would it actually feel like to pull up to your home every single day and have 134 feet of private waterfront on the New River right there with nothing between you and open ocean access? I'm Lourdes Maestres, and I've been selling luxury waterfront real estate here in Fort Lauderdale for 17 years. Today, I want to walk you through a home that I think is genuinely one of the most extraordinary waterfront compounds to come to market on the New River. And I want to tell you not just about the home, but about why this address specifically represents a category of Fort Lauderdale waterfront that is almost impossible to replicate. This is 700 Southwest 12th Avenue. New construction completed in 2026, solid concrete and steel, not wood frame. 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, just under 6,700 square feet of living space. A private elevator, movie theater, steam room, sub-zero and wolf kitchen, and a saltwater pool. And then 134 feet of New River frontage with a private dock engineered for a 100-foot yacht. Stick with me, because this home has spaces in it I have not seen in any other property at this price point in Fort Lauderdale. And wait until you see what the outdoor living looks like from the waterside. Before we walk inside, I want to tell you something about this neighborhood, because it changes how you see this address. Riverside Park is one of Fort Lauderdale's oldest residential neighborhoods. Its roots go back to 1911, just a few years after Fort Lauderdale was incorporated as a city, and its identity has always been tied to the New River. Before highways existed, this river was Fort Lauderdale's original transportation corridor. The city grew up around it, and Riverside Park was part of that first chapter. What makes this neighborhood unlike almost anything else in Fort Lauderdale is its geography. It sits on a peninsula formed by the north and south forks of the New River, surrounded on almost every side by water. Wide streets, a mature tree canopy that took decades to grow, a quietness that should not be possible this close to downtown. And yet here it is. Over the past 2 decades, Riverside Park has become one of Fort Lauderdale's fastest evolving luxury waterfront areas. Buyers are drawn here by what is increasingly hard to find anywhere in South Florida. Large waterfront lots, deep water access, mature trees, real character, all within minutes of downtown, Las Olas, the airport, and the beach. Older homes are being replaced by modern estates. The original street layout remains. The feel of the place remains. But the properties are being transformed. That is exactly what 700 Southwest 12th Avenue represents: new construction on land that has been part of Fort Lauderdale's waterfront story since 1911. Old Fort Lauderdale meets new luxury. And there's something rare about standing on a property where the land itself has that kind of history. And the home on it is this new. For dining, Maestres at the Four Seasons received a Michelin star in 2026 right here in Fort Lauderdale. Heritage was awarded a Bib Gourmand. Daniel's Steakhouse is on the Michelin Guide as well. And Las Olas is minutes away. You do not end up in Riverside Park by accident. You choose it. Have you spent time in Riverside Park, or are you familiar with this part of Fort Lauderdale? Drop it in the comments. I would love to know what brought you here today. So as we pull up, the first thing you feel is the scale. This is not a narrow lot squeezed between neighboring homes. 3/4 of an acre means setbacks, breathing room, privacy, and a facade that can actually sit the way it should. The landscaping frames the approach beautifully: mature palms, tropical plantings, and landscape lighting that transforms this arrival at night into something genuinely dramatic. The architecture is completely contemporary, clean lines, deliberate proportions, nothing overdone. And I want to say what I always say to buyers when we look at new construction at this level in South Florida: that precast construction underneath, not wood frame, means this home is built to the highest standard available in residential construction in Florida. That matters for insurance. That matters for longevity. And at 2026 construction, it means current code compliance on every system in this building. That is worth more than most buyers initially realize. Hurricane impact windows and doors throughout. The finish quality is evident from the street. This is a builder who set a standard and held it from the foundation up. When the landscape lighting comes on after dark, the arrival experience here is extraordinary. When you pull up to a home for the first time, what catches your attention first? The architecture, the landscaping, or the sense of scale? Let me know in the comments. I always get interesting answers on this one. Okay, so we step through the front door, and immediately two things happen. First, the ceilings open above you with a volume and light that announces the scale of this home right from the beginning, and then straight ahead through the floor to ceiling glass. The New River. Unobstructed. Immediate. That is your view from the moment you walk in. I have walked buyers through a lot of homes in Fort Lauderdale over 17 years, and the moment when the door opens and the water is right there, immediately is the moment when the conversation changes. I have watched it happen in this home. People stop mid-sentence and just look. You will understand the second you step inside. The entry flows naturally into the main living areas. The layout was designed to create a continuous visual connection from the front door all the way through to the river. The private elevator is accessible right from this level. And the flooring, the lighting, the ceiling detail, every finish choice here was deliberate. This is a home that delivers its best impression, not in photographs, but in person, in real time, standing right here. This home was designed for two things at once: extraordinary daily living and unforgettable entertaining. And the main living area is where both of those come together. Open, expansive, oriented entirely toward the water. Whether you are hosting 40 people or spending a quiet evening with your family, the New River is your backdrop. Nothing feels crowded. Nothing feels wasted. The flow between living, dining, kitchen, and outdoor spaces is seamless and intentional. I have been in homes at every price point in this market, and what separates the ones that stay with you from everything else is not just the square footage or the views. It is how the home makes you feel when you move through it, how it breathes, how it holds light, how it makes a Tuesday evening feel different. This one does that. From the moment you step in, now let's talk about this kitchen, because this is where the builder made a statement. Sub-Zero refrigerator, Wolf cooking suite. If you know those brands, you already know exactly what level of kitchen this is. For those who are less familiar, Sub-Zero and Wolf are the professional grade appliances that serious cooks and serious buyers specifically ask for by name. Not because they look impressive in photos, because they perform at a level that nothing else does. The Wolf range is the choice of anyone who actually cooks. The Sub-Zero is integrated and disappears into the cabinetry rather than announcing itself. And I want to tell you, in 17 years of showing kitchens at this level, the appliance choice is always the thing that buyers with actual cooking habits respond to first. This kitchen was built for someone who uses it. The island anchors everything. Generous in scale, positioned so the kitchen connects naturally and completely to the living spaces without any visual or physical barrier between them. This is where guests end up every time, always. The cabinetry runs floor to ceiling, clean, considered, custom millwork throughout. And this kitchen opens directly to the outdoor living area. So when the glass slides away, inside and outside become one continuous entertaining space. On a South Florida evening, that is everything. Are you a Sub-Zero and Wolf household? Or does the appliance brand matter less to you than the overall kitchen design and layout? I genuinely want to know. Drop it in the comments, because the answers on this one are always divided. The dining area sits right at the intersection of the kitchen and living spaces, large enough for a genuine dinner party, proportioned so it still feels like a private meal. Natural light from multiple angles, and the New River as your backdrop. There is no piece of art that competes with that view. You stop trying to decorate when the water is right there, and then you turn and there it is, the wine room, right next to where you eat. That proximity is intentional. Whoever designed this home understood that wine is not storage. It is part of the meal. It is part of the conversation. When the room is steps from the table, you are not going to get a bottle. You are choosing one. There is a difference. A wine room is not a standard feature. It is a decision about how you want to live, about what hospitality means to you, about the kind of evenings you intend to have in this home. There are people who keep a few bottles in a cooler under the counter. And then there are people who built a cellar next to their dining room with a view of the New River. That tells you everything about how this home was conceived. Now we go upstairs, and this is where the home becomes personal. The primary suite is positioned exactly where it should be, facing the water, elevated, private. The bedroom is generous in scale, with a view that I honestly do not have adequate words for. But let me try. The New River in the morning, when the light comes in off the water and everything is still, that is what you wake up to hear. That is your Tuesday morning, not a vacation. Tuesday. I have brought buyers up to primary suites in a lot of homes over the years. And there is a specific moment when they stand at the window or they sit on the edge of the bed and they look at the water where the decision gets made. Not out loud, just inside. You can see it. This room does that. The walk-in closets are sized and organized for a wardrobe that matches this address. And the primary bathroom, this is where this home makes its most intimate statement. The finishes are at the absolute highest tier. The scale is generous without being excessive. The fixtures were chosen with the same attention to detail as every surface in this build. This bathroom feels like a five-star hotel spa, because that is exactly what it was designed to be. Primary suite with a direct waterfront view. Does that move the needle for you when you are buying? Or is there another feature that matters more in a primary suite? Tell me below. I genuinely read every single comment. Now, the loft. This is one of those spaces that people don't expect at this level of home, and then they walk in and immediately understand it. Open, generous, finished to the exact same standard as everything below it. A second living area for the household. A creative space. A place the kids make their own. A quiet spot to work when you need separation from the main floor. Whatever your life requires, this space bends to fit it, and it does it beautifully. And then, the movie theater. I have a genuine affection for this room, because when a home theater is done properly, the acoustics, the screen, the seating, the light control, movie night becomes something else entirely. It becomes an event. It becomes the reason people want to come over. It becomes something your kids talk about for the rest of their lives. This theater was not treated as an extra. It was designed as a destination within the home. And at a property like this, that is exactly what it should be. What would you use the loft for? And what's the first movie you'd watch in a theater like this? I want to know. Drop it in the comments. All right, step outside with me, because this is where everything comes together. The saltwater pool sits directly facing the New River. So whether you are swimming laps or floating on a Sunday afternoon, the water is in front of you the entire time. This is not a pool tucked into a corner of a lot. This is a pool that is part of the waterfront experience. There is a difference, and this one delivers it. I have been on a lot of waterfront properties in Fort Lauderdale. And the combination of this lot size, this frontage, this pool position, and this outdoor living space at this level of new construction and finish is genuinely rare. Not rare in the way that real estate marketing makes everything sound rare. Rare in the way that when I walked this property for the first time, I stopped at the water's edge and just stood here for a moment, because this is a place, the dock. 100 feet of private dock capacity on 134 feet of new river frontage. No fixed bridges to the ocean. For anyone serious about boating, you know exactly what that means. Zero navigational compromises. Your vessel, whatever the weekend requires, lives right here at your property. Fort Lauderdale has more navigable waterways than any other city in the United States. From this dock, you access all of them. The outdoor entertaining space is designed for the kind of life Fort Lauderdale was made for. From September through May, this is where life happens. This is where the dinners are. This is where Sunday mornings unfold. This is where the water becomes yours in a way that is hard to fully explain until you are standing here. Are you a boater? Or is having a dock more of a dream right now? And if you had this outdoor space, what would your ideal Sunday afternoon look like out here? Drop it in the comments. Before we close, I want to come back to something important. Because the difference between a home that photographs beautifully and a home that lives beautifully is in the details you do not immediately see. This home was built in 2026 with solid concrete and steel construction, hurricane impact windows and doors throughout, a saltwater pool system, Sub-Zero and Wolf appliances that carry their own performance legacy. Every system in this building is new, current, and warranted. When you are buying new construction, you are buying the confidence that comes with that. Nothing has been patched, nothing has been updated. Everything was built right the first time. This is 700 Southwest 12th Avenue. New construction, 2026. 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, 6,650 square feet, a saltwater pool, private elevator, movie theater, steam room, Sub-Zero, and Wolf kitchen. And then 134 feet of new river frontage with a 100-foot private yacht dock on a 3/4 acre lot in Fort Lauderdale, with no fixed bridges to the open ocean. This home is represented by Lourdes Maestres with the MPH team at Compass. If you want to schedule a private showing or just want to have a real conversation about whether this is the right fit for your life, the link is in the description. I personally respond to every inquiry. This is what Fort Lauderdale waterfront living is supposed to feel like. Before you go, drop a comment and tell me, if you could live anywhere on the water in Fort Lauderdale, would it be the new river? And what was your favorite feature of this home? The outdoor living, the dock, the movie theater, the primary suite with the water view? I read every single comment and I will answer yours personally.